Welcome. My name is Jamina Schupack, and I'm with Rich Earth Institute. We're located in southern Vermont in Brattleboro. And in short, we take a valuable resource that is currently being treated as a waste product, human urine, and turn it into fertilizer. And we call this process peecycling. In this session, we'll take a moment to look at conventional wastewater treatment plants and talk about why reimagining our waste streams is an important environmental issue as we look forward towards creating flexible, adaptable, and sustainable solutions. We'll look at some of the solutions that people are working on, and specifically what we here at Rich Earth Institute are doing. And of course, we'll end on some big and small things that you can do in your own home, your own community. But before we dive in, I have a reminder and a few questions for you. So here's your friendly reminder to please fill out the workshop form at the end of this presentation. Your thoughts, your questions, and your ideas are encouraged and welcome. Now, before we get going, I'd love to hear what you already know about sanitation. Can you already confidently answer the following questions? Do you know what happens when you flush your toilet? Where does it go? How is it processed? And what alternatives to flush toilets that lead to wastewater treatment centers do you already know about? Go ahead and pause this video, take a moment to write, draw, video record, etc. your answer and upload it to Flipgrid. Come on back and push play when you're ready to continue. Welcome back. Thank you for your answers. I look forward to seeing them. So let's look at linear sanitation systems, sort of our current conventional system. So as our populations have grown and become more dense, we've had to evolve how we handle our waste. Our pee and our poop specifically is what we're talking about, in order to prevent the spread of disease. If you're interested in the evolution of our sewage systems, I highly recommend The Big Necessity by Rose George or Poop Culture by Dave Prager. Excellent reads. But suffice it to say, we need to do something. So here's a very simplified diagram of a typical wastewater treatment plant. So if you're connected to the sewer, what you flush down the toilet gets combined with anything else that goes down a drain. Sinks, laundry, shower, plus any runoff from the streets. All of that flows to a treatment center where any large items like trash are sifted out, and then the rest is treated to remove pathogens. The solids are then incinerated, buried, or land applied, and the remaining liquid goes into the waterway. It's a very simplified version, but it'll do for now. So largely because of the urine that we flush, this liquid that we're putting back into the waterway contains some problematic things. It contains pharmaceuticals, think antibiotics, antidepressants, birth control, etc., as well as nutrients, a lot of nutrients, largely nitrogen and phosphorus. Adding such large quantities of nutrients into the water leads to what's called eutrophication, an excess amount of nutrients, which contributes to dangerous algal blooms and in turn mass fish deaths. Algal blooms, which are also increasing, they're increasing due to excess nutrients as well as rising temperatures from climate change, are dangerous to humans, animals, and aquatic life. Now what's interesting is the nutrients that we're flushing are the same nutrients that farmers need to fertilize their plants. So by reclaiming these nutrients, by collecting and fertilizing with urine, we could contribute to turning a currently linear system into a circular system. We call this, as I said, peecycling. So here's a little video that's going to summarize this in another way. Never hurts to hear it in a couple different directions, right? So here you go.
Hi, I'm Yuri, Urination. You may know me from the last time you went to the toilet. That sounded so much less awkward in my head. You probably think of me as waste, but you got me all wrong. I'm liquid gold. I contain nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, all of which come from the vegetables, fruit, and grain you eat. Once humans are done with them, they end up in me. And why is that important? Well, plants need these vital nutrients to grow. No ifs or buts. There are no substitutes. These chemicals are essential for life. If you've ever had a grandparent tell you it's good to pee on a lemon tree, you know where I'm going with this. Your urine contains these nutrients. Plants grow using these nutrients, and you eat the plant's produce. Pea, plant, produce. Pea, plant, produce. And so on. It's a cycle, a nutrient cycle. One of the many such cycles which sustain life on Earth. Chemical elements neither created or destroyed, but flowing through us and the plants again and again. Or it could be a cycle if you didn't just flush me and my nutrients away.
I'll try not to take it personally.
With me out of the picture, plants still need these essential nutrients, so farmers must make up any shortfall by bringing in help from outside the cycle, in the form of synthetic fertilisers. These fertilisers certainly do the job, but they're not without problems. Nitrogen fertilisers are produced using large amounts of natural gas. The process is expensive, energy intensive, and pollutes the air. Potassium comes largely from mining of potassium salt known as potash. Mining, processing and transporting are messy and again energy intensive and expensive. Phosphorus mining, even more so. Plus it's a non-renewable resource. Some are suggesting it will become increasingly difficult to access over the next 100 years. And any excess fertiliser can be washed away into rivers and streams. A bit like me being flushed, really. And in flushing me, you also waste water. 4 out of 5 flushes are for urine. That's 900 billion gallons of clean, drinkable, showerable, cook-withable water per year in the US alone. Urine is less than 1% of wastewater, but contains most of the nitrogen and phosphorus. Often rural and semi-rural areas don't have the expensive facilities to get the nutrients from me and you out of the treated wastewater. And that's a problem, because half of us live in small towns and we're all downstream from somewhere. These same nutrients in urine and synthetic fertilisers that are vital for crops can also fertilise dangerous algal growth in our rivers and lakes. It's not just green and stinky. Some algal blooms can actually produce toxins that affect the skin, liver and nervous system. Algae can make water unfit for swimming, drinking and even breathing, if you're a fish. The resulting oxygen depletion creates huge, unlivable dead zones. The common factor in all these problems is me. But I could just as easily be the solution. What we all really need is to close the gap in our nutrient cycle. A way to use me again and again. A sort of peecycling. You guys can totally use that. The first step is straightforward. You catch me with urine diverting toilets and urinals. These keep me separate from solids and solid waste and are cheaper than pulling the nutrients out of the waste stream later on. They also save water with less flushing. And beyond that, well, we're still working it out. That's exactly why you're watching this. Research and pilot programs here and overseas have provided us with a lot of good options, and now we have to put them to the test. So scientists, social scientists, engineers, designers, educators, communicators, farmers, regulators, planners, consumers, and you can all work together to decide the best way to harness the potential of pee. The current design of urine-catching toilets and urinals isn't bad, but will certainly be improved based on user experience and feedback. Collection could happen at different scales, in the home, neighbourhoods, tall buildings, or all of the above. Urine is sadly not perfect, and there are issues we need to sort out before I get turned into fertiliser. Options like filtering, freezing, evaporating, heating, composting, oxidising and storing will all be rigorously tested and compared to reduce volume for transport, keep my nutrients stable, improve odour, is that me? And address any risk from bacteria and viruses or things you swallow like caffeine and antibiotics. Once we narrow it down to the 3 best technologies, We'll test drive them in closely monitored field trials on lettuce, carrots and grains like wheat. And so, step by carefully measured step, we're going to try to close the nutrient cycle gaps with urine diversion and treatment systems in order to create urine-derived fertiliser. This approach should reduce the cost, energy and pollution of making fertiliser and improve water quality, as well as ideally saving water and reducing the cost of wastewater treatment. And we'll be doing it safely, efficiently and in consultation with the community. Every day, the average adult's urine has sufficient nutrients to fertilise enough wheat to make one loaf of bread. It seems a pity to waste it. Hi.
Cool. And that video is available if you Google Rich Earth Institute on YouTube. You can use that if you want to share this information with others as well. So I just gave you a lot of information. Let's take a second, see if you can answer the following question of what are the potential benefits of peecycling? So as before, take a moment to write, draw, record your answer, and upload it to Flipgrid. Feel free to pause the video here and come back when you're ready. Okay, welcome back. Here are our answers, which may look pretty similar to yours. So peecycling has the potential to save water, prevent downstream pollution, reduce reliance on synthetic fertilizer, and contribute to completing the nutrient cycle. So here at Rich Earth Institute, we work to capture and turn urine into fertilizers in a few different ways. Here's our mission: to engage in research, education, and technological innovation to advance the use of human waste as a resource. And I love this quote: pollution is nothing but the resources we're not harvesting. So as I said, we do this in a few different ways. We do this with our urine reclamation program, through research, and through education. So we have the first and largest community-scale urine reclamation program in the country. We have donors who collect their urine either in these funnel systems, we call them a Cubian funnel, or in a urine diverting toilet, and then either drop off their donation at our depot, or we have some that have larger tanks on their own property that we periodically pump out, kind of like town recycling or composting programs. Then all of the urine is transported back to our facility, where it is pasteurized for safe use as a fertilizer. Finally, it is applied to local farms as a fertilizer or used in one of our research trials. We've completed numerous research trials in order to learn more about how to best utilize urine. We've done research about pharmaceuticals in urine, different application and storage methods, and even social research to learn more about how people perceive the use of urine as a fertilizer. And as you likely know, people's perceptions of something can often be linked to their understanding of that thing. So we're always working to spread the knowledge of nutrient recycling in the realm of education. We organize an annual summit for people all over the world to learn about the cutting-edge discoveries in this field. In the spring, we hold webinars for people interested in fertilizing their own garden with urine. We hold tours and are in the process of collaborating with local educators to create lessons for students about peecycling. And on our website, you can find this guide available to anyone. It lays out how to start a urine reclamation program. How cool would it be if there was multiple of these throughout the country? So if this is exciting to you, there are numerous ways that you could get involved. You could attend a Urine My Garden workshop and start fertilizing in your own backyard. They'll be starting in the spring, and you can check out our website or join our newsletter to get more information about that. If you live in or near the Brattleboro area, become a donor. Get in touch with us and we'll get you the tools that you need to do that. You could attend our Rich Earth Summit, November 2nd through 4th, and hear about what other folks are doing and just get more information. You could even do a bit of research for your own watershed and see if you can answer these questions. Where does the sewage from your house go? How is it processed before going into the water? One of my favorite things to do is drive by the river here and say, ha, my urine is not going into that water. You could take a tour or organize one with your teacher or a club of your local wastewater treatment plant. Go check out, see what's happening. Just start talking enthusiastically about turning waste into a resource. It's amazing what your excitement can do for a community. And of course, reach out. And of course, reach out with any questions or for more resources. You can email info@richearthinstitute.org, and that'll go to the whole staff, or directly to me, Jamina@richearthinstitute.org. And we'd love to hear your thoughts and your questions and get you what you need. So thank you so much for your attention and for coming to this event, for this summit in general. And of course, be the change you want to see in the world. Go out there and do what inspires you with the people that are your team. And a reminder, of course, to complete the workshop form. Thanks again.